Hello, 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 and welcome back to the world of Ryan J. Pitts Presents. I am Elizabeth, the Demon Queen Pitts, and with me again is the Metal Master, Ryan J. Pitts. For those of you who are joining us for the first time or don't know Ryan, Ryan has been making metal strength gear for 30 years. And you're like, oh, well, what is that? Well, Ryan makes hammers, swords, all kinds of really fun metal equipment that's basically like art. And it's also functional art though. You can use it to work out, to get stronger, to get fit, to get healthy, right?
Absolutely, yeah, yep.
Yes.
It's one of those. When I started creating these unique kind of pieces, it was all about adventure. I mean, I grew up in the '80s and Conan and just all these high adventure films, and I love training. And so to make a piece that you can physically work out with, add weight to it so it can get heavier, not just for show or LARPing, but for actual physical strength, man, that's yeah, it's my young self to my wiser self.
Now, I didn't grow up in the 80s, but I also loved Conan. So, oh yeah. Well, last time we talked about current projects that you were working on.
Custom.
Yep, that you were working on right now. Today, I want to rewind. I want to go backwards a little bit because you've done some amazing things over your 30-year career thus far. So today, I want to talk about something that's really, really fucking cool, which is WAL.
Yes,
Or
the World Arm Wrestling League.
Yeah, WAL. I don't know, but yes, the World Arm Wrestling League. And so, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, can you tell us a little bit about it?
So arm wrestling is a really unique niche, brutal, awesome sport.
I mean, and they have like a cult fan base almost,
Absolutely,
right?
they absolutely do. Yeah, those that do it have been in the game for so long, and again, it's just so brutal. It's quick. It's fast. It's explosive. My first introduction was at the Arnold's Arm Wrestling Classic, which I was invited to go see, and it's one of those sports where when you see it in person, it's pretty cool.
It gets the blood pumping.
It does, and it blows my mind that like what the World Arm Wrestling League was trying to do. I'm kind of sad that it didn't like stick or stay or resonate with the public as much as I think it should have. Which goes to the World Arm Wrestling League. There was a show called Game of Arms, probably 2012, 13. It was on AMC Network.
Really?
And it was really awesome. I watched that and it was intriguing, and it followed these groups of arm wrestlers. Most of them had their locations. So they had a team here. They had several teams all over the States, and they followed them to tournaments. And again, it was so like blood sport or so whatever that word is, back kind of the not backyard, but kind of. It's the
like underground.
Underground is exactly what it is, and that's what the World Arm Wrestling Underground, WAL Underground. I think that came from that. And then Steve Kaplan, who started the World Arm Wrestling League, he's out of Chicago, an awesome businessman. I've got some of his books. And
How to Bag the Elephant.
Yes,
right?
Yes, he was an awesome salesman. I think he was on one of the TV shows where he was a secret or undercover millionaire or something. But he saw the sport and how awesome, he really took to it. So he started this league with the hopes of it being like Major League Baseball, NFL, all these big primetime sports. And man, they started off with a bang. Which leads us to like the trophies, the hammer trophies. Are we there yet?
So you made hammer trophies for the World Arm Wrestling League. for the winners.
Yes, yes. So yeah, we're there. When they started, they were looking. Ben, a gentleman by the name of Ben, who worked for Wall, he was in charge of finding this thing, this award, this trophy.
And they wanted something probably like really special, really iconic. And it was his job to go out and research and find just the most coolest, amazing thing. And of course, obviously, he finds you.
Stumbled across strongergrip.com. Yes, and saw some of the hammers that I was making at the time, and then inquired about making one for them, which would be essentially um, their end of the year award or their championship trophy that would be coveted and held up high. Which again, the Wall. It was, if you haven't seen it on ESPN, I don't know if there's reruns. It's pretty spectacular. The guys would arm wrestle, and there's all the weight classes, and each weight class there's right and left arms. So some guys had a chance to win 2 hammers, and some did.
Yes.
And not only was it hammers, but they would get a stack of cash. And so with kind of an underground sport like that, money is a lot for these guys because they do it on the side. It's not they don't make money, so to speak, from it. It's a passion they do after hours when they're not doing their real life.
Yeah, kind of like the early like bodybuilders and stuff. Like they didn't have any money. Like that was just what they did because they loved it.
Yes, and some of those, that's a whole nother yeah, still not a whole lot of money in that.
Yeah.
And yes, and a lot of, that's another journey we could speak about.
We could go down that road another time. Okay, so they get a hold of you. They ask you for a hammer. Now, at this point, this is around 2014.
Yeah,
that was like the inception of the World Arm Wrestling League and stuff. And then they get picked up by ESPN.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's big. That's awesome. That's big time.
Yeah. So that's huge. Okay. So how many hammers, like originally, like the first time they ask you for a hammer? How many do you think you made for them?
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad we're doing this because of the whole 30 years, it's been nothing but a tornado of action and not much time to sit back and like contemplate. So a lot of things are a blur, and we've got to go back and kind of look at records to see. So some of those I didn't even remember doing at first. Because what we've looked, and there was I did hammers in 2014, 2015, 16, 17, and 18. So for 5 years, I made hammers for their big events, and I think it was, there's 4 right hand, 4 left hand, because the weights, there's 4 weight classes, so 8 hammers. So I believe the answer is 8 hammers. The first year they didn't have a women's division, so it was 8 hammers.
Okay, and then that year you also, in addition to the 8 hammers, you also built like a rack or a
yes
for them to be displayed upon. And I saw pictures of that, and it was incredible. It was magnificent. Was that something that they asked for, or is that something you just decided like they needed to be displayed in that way?
So Steve, the president of Wall, and must have told Ben that he wanted a display rack. I think Steve was watching some Game of Thrones at the time because he had mentioned something about the throne of swords. And so, and also this is like 2 weeks before the event.
Of course.
So down to the wire, hey, can you make this? And so what I had a giant square tube X at the shop. I can't even remember what I was going to do with that, but I took that and I put it at an angle. I cut several like plates, discs, and welded it to this X rack that sat like that, and then the hammers would sit on it. And it looked really cool. I was happy with how it turned out, especially with the time given, and just everything, the limited time, and how it all came together was pretty cool.
Um, okay, so the hammers that you made now, they're trophy hammers. So are these hammers that are like just for show, or were they also like functional pieces also? Because you're known for functional art.
Yes,
So
yeah. So they're functional, and I don't know if they wanted that, but like for me, I've gotten some awards and trophies. A lot of them are real cheap. Trophies are, it's one of those things. There's a lot of places that make them, but they're also super low quality. I remember getting one on stage at the Arnold's, an award, and it was a wooden plaque with some, looks really cool, but then fucking thing fell off in my hand and I'm holding on to it
while you're on, while you're
I'm
on
stage. And it's like, I get trophies. Well, also, these are hardcore athletes. And so I wanted to make something that these guys could actually use. Yeah, it's sweet that it's on a shelf, but they can go pick it up and they can swing it. They can do rotations.
It's
they can
not
load it
gonna,
up and make it heavier too.
so they're loadable.
They're loadable, functional awards. Yes.
Yeah, they're not going to grab a hammer and have it fall apart in their hand. Not
No.
one of your hammers.
They could grab one
anyways.
and destroy other things, but
Yes.
it won't fall apart on them.
Oh, okay. What were some of the obstacles that you faced in like creating and like the creating and the designing aspects of it? What were some things that were difficult for you to get through?
So we agreed on some kind of base dimensions that would make their hammer stand out. It was longer than a normal Thor, light, shorter than a sledgehammer. I had the beveled end caps, and then design wise, it was totally up to me. So coming up with things on the fly with kind of short time frames, that was probably the biggest obstacle. Having all kinds of creative freedom, but then kind of focusing and picking one to do it. And that's why, like, from those 5 years, every year the hammer is different. It looks different.
Yes, when we look at all of the photos, we see that each year it's a little different, changes here and there. But I also think that's really cool. Just as especially, everything evolves and everything changes, and the World Arm Wrestling League was probably evolving and changing also. And the
Yeah.
hammers, the awards kind of reflect that as well. So unfortunately, they eventually got dropped by ESPN, didn't they? They were only on there for, was it
I think 2 years on
2 years?
ESPN and then 2 years on BR Live. Yeah, and it's that underground sport that just didn't quite break through to the mainstream, and that obviously advertisers money they're not going to put in if it's not getting the numbers, I guess. Yeah, so sadly it didn't get the numbers, and yeah, I think they're just kind of hibernating at this moment. There's still arm wrestling going on and lots of awesome kind of federations for arm wrestling, but the wall itself, which really lifted kind of the arm wrestling name up to a pretty cool level that it hasn't seen before.
Okay, so you didn't actually go to any of the tournaments, correct?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
Did you get to at least like make any like connections or meet any cool people or connect with them like through this process? Like,
Meeting Steve, the president, was very cool.
Yeah.
Just a fun experience to kind of talk with him, a guy of that stature and work ethic and what he's built for himself.
you got to meet him in person though,
Yes,
didn't you?
yes, because I can't remember what year it was, but it was Hammer Time, and they needed to be at a certain place, and there was just no time to ship them. I mean, and honestly, all the times prior to that were also very sketchy. I mean, it could have
Down
been,
to the wire.
holy smokes, yeah. And here's a shout out to USPS Priority. They nailed it. Surprisingly.
Well, that is the one time that they've
Yeah.
nailed anything.
Oh, we've
Because
had
we
issues.
still have a lost package with them It's in Georgia somewhere.
And also UPS and all of the shipping places, which they do amazing things too. How they handle all those packages without losing more is beyond me.
So they're unfortunately kind of in this hibernation mode right now, but I am very hopeful and optimistic for the future that maybe they'll get to come back, which would be very exciting. Now, if they came back and started doing their tournaments again and they reached out to you and asked for more hammers, would you be open to that?
I would absolutely, yeah. The hammer maker, the hammer king will step up.
Okay. Well, so if there's another World Arm Wrestling League tournament, we've got our trophies.
And they also, throughout those years, they had me make many other awards and plaques and regional awards that were super fun to make too, and real high quality, heavy awards that.
I mean, I went through some of the pictures and it looked like you made a ton of stuff for them. A lot.
I did in fact.
It's just amazing to me because you are just one human being, and you just keep putting out stuff nonstop, and it's honestly quite inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah, well, we'll touch on that. Another thing is entrepreneurs or one person who wants to step out and do something on their own. It's hard. It's really hard. So yeah, you got to have this this drive inside you where it doesn't matter what's happening, what's raining down on you. You just keep forging ahead, and that's kind of how you make it. Overnight successes usually happen, 30 years after somebody's been doing something.
Wow, you just got to keep pushing forward, Mr. Pitts.
Absolutely.
We're all very excited to see what happens for you next.
I am as well.
Let's talk about these fun pieces real quick.
Yes.
The finger.
Yes. This is a candle holder. I had rebar and some little tiny globes of different sizes. What do they call that? The thing you put the candle in?
The holder?
The holder. I think
it's the holder.
I think it has a name. But
yeah,
that's just a middle finger. Yeah, middle finger candle holder made out of some scrap metal.
This is a fun little character we have here.
Oh, this actually. This is
relevant to what we're talking about, isn't it?
It is, yes. So the main thing is I think a 4.5-inch grip burger shape that I have. But these, speaking of World Arm Wrestling League, that's what these are. These are leftover World Arm Wrestling League logo pieces that looked an awful lot like spider legs. So we just welded them on the grip burger, put a creepy baby's head in it, and you can put a light up inside of it and it will light up your room.
Just more interesting metal art from the Metal Master. Love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you guys next time.
Till next time, Metal Master, Demon Queen.